Welcome to Thinking Content, a premier YouTube video essay series. Today, we're going to break down and analyze a geek pop culture topic that you already know everything about. We come from a unique point of view in that we have no educational credentials or journalistic experience, but rather have a mildly competent thumbnail that convinced you, the viewer, that we come from some point of authority. However, since our analysis will be generally inoffensive and aligned with loosely coupled beliefs you already retain, you'll enjoy passively watching it and appreciate how it reinforces your already existing opinions on geek pop culture topics. We're going to start with a broad general statement introduction that transitions into the video essay's main subject, centered around a non-pop culture subject matter that shows we have knowledge and interests outside the consumerist media we have predicated our personalities around. So, come on. Something different I've read. Too long. No. We're actually going to start with a broad general statement introduction that's centered around another geek pop culture subject matter we already know about. The Lord of the Rings is a multimedia franchise based on the Middle-earth writings of J.R.R. Tolkien, written between 1937 and 1949, and with over 150 million copies in print. This information is all easily accessible via the introduction of its Wikipedia article, which is in fact where we got it from. Of most recent note, The Lord of the Rings has been adapted as an Amazon Prime television series, The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, the most expensive television show ever made. The show is based on only the appendices of The Lord of the Rings and reflects a broader trend in how geek pop culture content is consumed. We are now going to transition into talking about our main topic, namely how large geek franchises have changed in the age of streaming, specifically the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Star Trek, and Star Wars. Huge franchises like these are the things to which random creators, content brands like Thinking Content profess the foremost authority, and coincidentally, they're also the most algorithm-friendly franchises, portraying not just how algorithm-appeasing our topics of analysis must be, but also how we've let our personalities become dictated by the whims of social media algorithms that have molded and homogenized our collective pop culture interests. Did you know? Shows like The Rings of Power signify how properties like these are now brands first, stories second, with the actual content servicing the larger brand, and that a lot of the resulting content glut is done in order to service streaming growth and facilitate marketing buzz? That's a point that's pretty obvious and easily scrutinizable by even the most out-of-the-loop consumer, but we present it in a clean and compelling video essay context to make conventional wisdom sound more enlightening than it actually is. But discussing pop culture topics such as this one in such broad and uninsightful ways is great because it enables click-driven cultural commentators like ourselves plenty of material to scrutinize, analyze, and thus be able to create content about it for the ever-demanding YouTube algorithm. Plus, it's so much easier to provide non-insightful analysis based on knowledge we already had and that was already generally accepted by our audience. Those are much easier videos to make than to explore a new angle on a subject or research a new topic that our audience could learn about. And that makes our content better for everyone. And don't worry, none of this will ever seem reflexive. Now, instead of developing this thesis point about the utility of branded geek media for modern-day streamer and media conglomerate growth, and how this has impacted the craft of the content itself, we are going to pivot our argument into talking about fans, specifically online fan culture and its broad relationship with the subject matter, as along with our lack of formal education in art theory or semiotics, our lives are basically dictated by online fandom, and thus we have little knowledge outside of a fan sphere. But fortunately, the content that we analyze is tailor-made for that sort of appraisal. We like to break down stuff like Star Trek Lower Deck's humorous deconstruction of Star Trek tropes, or The Last Jedi analyzing commonly used Star Wars tropes, or Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse's analysis of what it means to be Spider-Man in a broader pop culture sense. We love it when content is just thematically about the property in a meta sense, because then we don't have to think about our analysis outside of our own fandom. I'm going to call my viewers y'all now. But now we're going to tie it into our main topic and break down how this focus on flatly meta storytelling comes as a result of the omnipresence of these content brands in pop culture. Itself a result of studios creating as much recognizable branded content as possible. You see, the business model of a lot of these modern companies requires that. Maybe I need to research this. Actually, I'm just going to talk about how the MCU Phase 4 is frequently about fandom. Fandom. It would probably be a lot easier to stop dwelling on points revolving around fandom and internet culture that both the viewers and creators are already overtly familiar with. To break down a story from a more detached point of view outside the frame of online culture, or if we have trouble being that objective about something we love so much, break down a subject that we are less familiar with, like the video essayist who influenced us did. Move on to new horizons. But I don't know how well that'd play. And it sounds really hard. In conclusion, while at first seeming like an exciting opportunity for something niche to grow into something more mainstream, intellectually satisfying, and emotionally engaging, a combination of lethargic creators churning out uninspired, obligatory, and questionable material, along with the inevitable interference of the market, has rendered the once promising genre of video essays into something unchallenging, reactionary, and routine. Oh, sorry, I meant to say geek pop culture franchises, not video essays. Thanks for watching Thinking Content. Be sure to check out more of our videos seen in the end screens below. And also make sure you like and subscribe, two things no one that has a passing engagement in YouTube has ever been prompted to do after seeing it casually preached to them on a video essay's end screen. And be on the lookout for our next video, how Harry Potter and the Cursed Child is about fandom.